Hi, good day, good day. Good evening to all. Welcome to Mike at Night. Glad to have you all. Those of you who have been joining us week after week, we're happy to have you. Thank you very much for joining us. We value you. If you are signing on for the first time, please let us know and where you're signing on from. My name is Michael Stewart and I'm happy to be in your presence. All right, my goodness then. Okay. Forgive that little interruption that you just heard there. All right, tonight we have a very interesting topic. I hope that you are able to call somebody and tell them to join us. I want you to share the live. Rock and come in. Share the live, my people. All right. It's a wonderful time that we have. Let me see who we have online at this time. Who do we have on? Boy. All right. Alicia Gill, Sundar Gill. Good evening. Nice having you. Joan. All right, Joan. We never get a chance to meet up. I'm sure you leave already. I'm sure you're back in Virginia. Wendy Norton, Wendy R. Norton, one of our regulars. Thank you very much for joining us. Candice Alexander, wonderful having you. Candice, you come early today. Rock and come in. Sabana Sparkling, good evening to you all. Yes, yes. Share the live, people. If you want this program to reach as many people as possible, we're asking you to do us a favor and just share the live. Linda Jofield, good evening. Dwayne Otley, nice having you all, man. Tell somebody, come and join us. Just press share on your screen and share to your Facebook page. Yes, Precious Ellie. All of you all. Great having you all, man. All right. Yes, so this evening we're talking about the 5 phases of relationship. Hey, Marva, Miguel, nice having you. Joseph, nice. Fiorello, nice, thank you. All right. Jacqueline Charles, Nathaniel Stewart, Stewart. Well, rock and come in, man. Rock and come in. Bring them in. Yes. We talk about the phases of relationship, and I want as many people to be on. Tulsi, how you doing? Yes, we want as many people to be on when we start this because one of the things that we recognize is that people get into relationships and they jump out of it before they have a chance to really settle down in it, because I think people don't recognize that relationships go through phases. Yep, that's the reality. Relationships go through phases. Cassie Shangi, good evening to you, my lady. Nice having you on. Yes. So if we jump out of the relationship too soon, we're not recognizing the phases. We're not appreciating what life and how this thing works. This thing works in a way that we've got to be able to pass through the various phases that the relationship would bring. Charmaine, you're late tonight. You're normally early, Charmaine. You're late tonight. Eh, oh, Joseph is Joe. All right, Joe, nicely. Joe, say Uncle Joe, eh? Say Uncle Joe. I know you by that. All right. Tobago Joe. That's right. Tobago Joe. Because let me tell you, Tobago Joe is a bona fide Tobagonian. You can't tell him that he ain't born here. The man have roots here. So you have to respect Tobago Joe now. Give him a salute. Carmen Dundas. Nice having you. Love to. Okay, my people. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Thank you. I had to drink my little hot tea and see, this thing goes down well. Uh-huh. I think it's hot too bad. Oh my, Charmaine said she was that hot at Mount Hope. With a girl. Wow, you must be tired. All right. Joanna Peters. That is St. Vincent in the house. Yes, we've seen people from various places. We have Virginia, we have St. Vincent, we have Trinidad, and a number of places that we have on. Okay. All right, so let me get going. People, every time we get into a relationship, I think this is one of the mistakes that we make. We make the mistake that the person we marry will remain the same for the rest of the marriage. Doesn't happen that way. People change. People will change. We have to accept that they will change. So let me just say, young man and gentlemen, you see that compliant girl that we married, and when we married her, whatever it is we told her, she agreed with. And if we said something that was in opposition to what she thought, she will relent on her position and take our side and say, well, all right, if you say so, I'll go ahead with it and so on. That girl that we married, yes, that girl who we loved so much because she was so compliant and so much in agreement with us. Relationships change every 7 years. There's a major change that takes place in every relationship according to those who studied and said so. Follow me now. Follow me, people. According to those who studied, relationship change in a major way every 7 years. So that compliant girl that you admire the way how everything that we said to her, she accepted. She goes up in the relationship. Now she has a voice, she has an opinion, and she wants to express her voice. She's going to now challenge us. She's going to say, I don't agree with you. She's going to say that I don't see that making sense. She's going to say all of that. But what do? We appreciate the fact that she grew up and she has a voice, and we allow her to voice. That is the change that we've got to expect. So, madam, you see that man that you fell in love with because he spent so much time with you, late nights, all the talking late on the phone and all the going out places and enjoying each other company, and you like that. That's a man. Now that you're in a serious relationship with him and you are probably married to him, and he has to work hard to pay a mortgage for a house. He has to now buy stuff to put in the house. He has to now maintain you and maintain children. That same man, that same man don't have them kind of time on his hands again. Things change. All you think it easy? Things change. But here's what. Now that things change, we're not prepared for the change. We want the changing situations, but we want the circumstances to remain the same. Can't happen. It just cannot happen. Right? So, the fact that the woman is speaking out, she has an opinion and she has a contribution in the home. Embrace it. Embrace it. Appreciate it. The fact that the man used to spend all that time, his situation has changed. He can no longer handle the kind of times, because when he stay up and talk late and go out lime and late and so on, he has to get up for work the next morning. Before that, he didn't have all of them responsibilities. Are you all feeling me up inside of here? So, sir, the woman who had all of that time to give you first and priority in her life, whenever she go to town, she buy things for you. Every time she have a conversation with a friend, it's about you. Yeah, we like that. Nice. That feel good. But now she become pregnant or she has a child. Her conversation has changed from you to the child. You following me? So it's about the child now. It's about what the child wants. It's about how do you provide for the child. And when you come home, the child is sleeping on the bed. When you want a little intimate time, the child is between both of you all. Things change. What you want her to do? Get rid of the child? No. We have to embrace the changes that are taking place. All tell me if I'm making sense now. Tell me if I'm making sense. Sandra Jack, good evening to you. Nice for joining us. The only change I know is when I break at $20. All right, okay. All right, Charmin. I gotta take that. Right. So things change. It is naive of somebody to be in a relationship and then don't expect things and the person to change. Because one of the things that we keep complaining about, he wasn't like that when we meet. She wasn't like that when we meet. If they're the same as when you meet, something is wrong. All follow me up in here. Come, rock and come in, people. All rock and come in. Tell people to join us here because we're talking serious business here tonight. Glenda Allen, nice. Nice having you. A lot of relationships fail that had no right to fail only because we have a misguided perception of relationships. And I'm saying so. Sandra Jack says she agrees with me. The child becomes the world. And a man should not contest a woman with a child. You will never win that. I promise you that. You will lose that fight every time. She carried that child for 9 months. She's connected emotionally and chemically to that child. You will never win against that child. You could make negotiations. You could make adjustments. You could make schedules. But out of you and the child, you not going to hold number one spot, especially if that child is still in the vulnerable stage of childhood. So just get with the program. Just get with the program, people. As the child grows, you might be able to get back your number one spot, and both of you all know manage how the child gets into the fray. Makini John, long time now, I ain't see you. Nice having you. Happy New Year to you. Yeah. Tobago Joe. Tobago Joe, is she not a mannequin? She does change. Things different. Yes. So I want to share with you an article that was written by I felt it was a very good article written by Mark Travers on the psychology of the change that takes place. And I want to share with you some of them. Ted Jones. That's all I'm telling you. Class starts 8 o'clock. Don't be walking in my classroom, Ted, at 8:60. Last time I'm telling you that. All right, sit down and keep your mouth shut. Right, we're going. So, Mark says in this article, a psychologist explains the 5 phases of loving relationships. That's the name of the article. All right, and here's what it says. The early months of a relationship is referred to as the honeymoon stage, and there's a reason for that. Because during the honeymoon phase, you and I overlook a lot of things. You come to pick her up, she's not ready. You will be patient and you will sit in the car, or you'll sit in the gallery, or you'll come inside of the house and sit down and you'll wait patiently. Honeymoon phase. You think that is what this man will be for the rest of the relationship, next 40 years, that he is going to come to pick you up, madam, and you're still late? No. After that relationship settled down and he comes to pick you up and you are late. Let's say you're married and he has to leave work to come and pick you up to drop you somewhere and you are late. He's honking the horn down the road and he's vexed like tick. Before he would not have been vexed. The honeymoon phase is gone. We think the honeymoon phase will last forever. It does not. Don't live in a fool's paradise. That honeymoon phase will melt with the heat of the relationship, the tension of the relationship, and the friction that's going to go on. That honey will melt. So, all of that infatuation and niceness, and oh, my boyfriend is such a nice fella, he's so thoughtful, he remembered my birthday, he's so considerate and so on. Joe said 3 months tops. Joe, you're lucky. You're lucky to say 3 months top. Yeah, Lyndon, rock and come in. You're late yourself. So, during this time, you and your other partner is in this relationship. You're in this relationship. Looking through thin glass. Thin glass. I'm wondering if this was, yeah. Looking through thin glass. I wonder if that person wanted to get on. I just took it off there. I should have. Okay. Let me make sure. Okay. Right. So, as time progresses, the shift starts to take place in the relationship. So, as we go through those relationships, moving from the honeymoon phase, it does not mean that love ends. It just means we're in a different level. It is like taking an escalator, it's taking an elevator. You will be on a different floor. You will have a different scenery through the glass of the elevator. It does not mean that the elevator has stopped, nor does it mean that the elevator is wrecked. It just means that you are moving to a different level, a different phase of the relationship. So I want you to note all the 5 phases for me, right? The 5 phases of this relationship. I want you to note it. Number 1, the honeymoon stage is what we call the moon landing phase. This is the first 6 months when you meet the person. Intense emotion, man. You love the girl to all. Yes. Yeah. Let me just tell this person that I'm online. You love the person to all. You love the girl. You love the woman. You love the dirt they walk on. Every time you hear their voice, you get goosebumps. You feel nice. Yeah. During this phase is infatuation phase. And you're enjoying it, so enjoy that phase because it will be gone. Once you're in a relationship, remember the relationship will end that honeymoon phase 6 months tops. I think it was that Uncle Joe said. Yeah, 6 months tops. So, oh no, he said 3 months. When you're inside of this phase, I want us to be able to recognize, acknowledge that this is infatuation. Don't make a decision on marriage and serious relationship within 6 months. Now, some people have done so and it worked. But I also know of people who have drank Gramaxone and poison and didn't die, but I will never recommend it, even though somebody survived. And I'm not going to recommend somebody who has met somebody and in 6 months they go in and get married. Though I will repeat, some have done it and it worked, but it is rare. Do not practice that. Because you're in the honeymoon phase, all of your injectors firing, and all of your pistons firing, sorry, and your injectors and them clean. Everything nice. So, during this phase, it's as though you agree with everything the person said. And some of you who know what I'm talking about, you know, sometimes you think about somebody, you're in this relationship and you just think about them and bam, your phone ring. And you say, hey, you know, we have a connection. Connection? Yeah. I was just thinking about you, you know. Infatuation phase, 6 months. So, acknowledge that that is so. 2, keep reflecting on your feelings. Ask yourself, what is this feeling about? What am I experiencing? Yeah? and acknowledge the impact of infatuation on your perception and your decisions. The reason why people are in a revolving door relationship is because they keep making too much major decision within the first 6 months. Give it time. There's a songwriter that says, take time to know her. It's not an overnight thing. All you know that song? All you tell me who sing that song? Jalea said, I told my wife for wedding day, if she's 15 minutes late, turn back. Turn back because I gone. When I got there, she was already there. Jalea said she should have leave you. you make a chat like that, Lyndon, boy. Lynette York, good evening. Welcome, come in, Lynette. All right. Percy Sledge, that's right. Percy Sledge, he's the one who sing it. All right, if you say so. Right, I see Lawrence Flamen says Percy Sledge. These are fellas who in the dance, so them know what they're talking about. Take time to know her. Yes, Dwayne. If Facebook would not have banned me, if I would have played this song for you. Hey, John. I thought you in work. I thought Joe handling things tonight. Yes, Percy Sledge is it. You know, let me tell you, some of those old-time songs, you should go back and listen to them. They made a lot of sense. As opposed to some of the modern-day things that we are hearing. Some of the modern-day things we are hearing. So, Mark says, reflect on your feelings and get in touch with those feelings. Recognize that these feelings, though they are genuine, they could be misleading. It will feel intense, but it does not mean that it is real. Give yourself time to float to the earth, because right now you're on a high. You're on octane. Yes, you're on steroids. Love steroids. Okay, all right, nice, John. So look at enjoy the program tonight. Eden Thomas, good evening. Yes. Thirdly, so one, we said acknowledge that it is infatuation. Two, reflect on your feelings. And three, initiate open conversations about your expectations about the relationship, because you're in that phase. The problem with many people in relationship is that they never discuss what each person expects from the other in this relationship. You want 6 children, you never mentioned it. They don't like children. They don't want any. Or they want one. And when you have already passed your euphoria phase, you're now saying about you're ready for a child. And they say, no, I didn't want to have a child, so I want to go and study. Man. Dwayne, you're too young for them songs. I'll walk away from love once more. You don't know them songs, Dwayne. You only Google that little while. I bet you on that. Yeah. So initiate conversation about your future. And I think that is one of the breakdown that we do. We tend not to talk about what we are going to do later on in our lives. What we expect. Are we going to rent? Are we going to buy a house, a land? What are the expectations of the people who are our potential in-laws? You understand? 6 months giving you time to talk a number of things to know where the person heading, so that you can extricate yourself out of the relationship if you just don't agree. Right? But there are some things you can't go too deep in the first 6 months. So number one, for those who just joined us, is the honeymoon phase, or which is called the moon landing phase. I guess that's why they call it the honeymoon. It's not the holy moon. It's the honeymoon. It's when you land on the moon and things look so sweet, so nice. Okay. So, phase 2. Next phase. Remember, that's the first 6 months. What Joe saying there? Joe said, Joe and I had this type of discussion 2 or 3 weeks into the relationship. No wonder it is that all is still making it for today. Yeah? Only serious people. Talk to some of them young people who they just end up inside of it and then walk out of it. I've known of people in relationships 3 months and child already in the relationship in 3 months and the relationship itself break up in 3 months. Isn't that madness? Anyway, I digress. Phase 2, the exploration phase. This is from the 6 months to 2 years. Yeah? This is now when honeymoon is over. You see, during the honeymoon phase, the person calling you when they jump in the vehicle and now leaving home, eh? When they reach traffic, are stuck in traffic. When they reach their work, are now reaching work. Have a nice day. 6 months, that's the honeymoon phase. After 6 months of running into 2 years, you say, but I find you ain't call me for the day. That is the change that has just taken place right there. So as Lyndon say, the honey finish. That's right. And the bottle will end up in the garbage. All right, Shamin, thank you. So the exploration phase, this is where the initial excitement fades away and the couple now get into this uncertainty stage. That is what they call it, the exploration. I want you to remember these phases, people. So I hope somebody's writing and taking notes. Number 1 is the honeymoon or the moon landing phase. Number 2 is the exploration phase. This is when uncertainty develops. That's why they call it exploration. Because now you weren't exploring anything, you were just enjoying things. Doubt is now going to start after 6 months. I wonder if this is the right person. By this time, you're beginning to recognize some bad habits. There are some things the person will do and say that will surprise you. And you begin to ask yourself some serious questions. But by then, you already had sex. By then, you're already pregnant. By then, you already joined with the person for a mortgage or to buy a car or so to some expense. And now this forces you to stay into the relationship because you are bonded by something, either a child or a potential child or a financial burden, because you was not using the elevator. Some people elevator do not climb to the top. As we said, not everybody this situation relates to. So if it's not you, left it and go your way. All right. The honeymoon boo-boo. Look, Tobago Joe using Tobago word boo-boo. No, man. So Joan tell you that word there. The honey boo-boo evolves into the honey where are you? Tracking device. Yeah, because first you're telling them everywhere you're going. Now you have to give them tracking device to find them. Right? So this phase is the uncertainty phase, the exploration phase. And in this phase of the relationship, where what we call non-thoughtful reactions during this phase, where somebody does something and they did not think it through properly. A lot of times we make a lot of mistakes. We say something that we shouldn't say because we did not think about it. We behaved in ways that we should not have because we did not think about it. Yes? And this is critical because here's where it's going to set the platform for whether the person has confidence in moving forward or not. Yes. Thank you, Eden. Eden says the phases are duly noted. He says good stuff. Right? So in this exploration phase is when you're going to know all the mistakes that the person making now. They may have made it during the honeymoon phase, but you and I were too drunk with love to even notice that they were making those mistakes. But I kind of clear out of the smoke. So now we start to see them doing things, saying things, liming with people, acts of omission, things that we thought that they would remember, they don't remember. Other friend of mine, he there, excited. He said, Mike, I know he had gotten married and they're into the marriage now. And he says, you know, I know my wife think I forget the anniversary, you know, but I had the gift already. I know she think I will forget because I just forget a lot. And unknown to him, his wife had already told me that she's setting for him because it's their anniversary and he ain't remember it and the anniversary gone 1 week ago. He's still waiting and he thinking it was the following week. 2 weeks late he was. So I felt so sorry for my poor fellow. I didn't know how to break it to him that yes, you're doing it and excited that you remember, but you remember wrong. You're still getting it because she was highly upset that you forget. But those are things that happen during the phase into the 2-year phase of the relationship. We still initiate those early phases. Very rare we slip up all because it's my second marriage and Joe's first. If things getting out of hand. Yep. Kurt Alexander was there and in the end I almost died. She was a mad woman. I had to run for my life. Is what Kurt talking about here? There was an earlier conversation? Oh, you're talking about this phase of the relationship, Kurt? That you had to run for your life? All right. All right. If things getting out of hand, I withdraw because I should know better. All right. I think John, something still ain't join up on that sentence here. All right. Okay. So this phase, it's imperative not to draw hasty conclusions, but view this stage as the opportunity to grow and understand that we're in changing phase here. The testing ground that you could use here is to be able to see how resilient this relationship could be because of your patience and non-judgmental way how you deal with it. And that is the hard phase for many people because we are very judgmental. We come to conclusions and most time that conclusion is negative. We feel delighted to come to a negative conclusion. So we don't give people the benefits of the doubt. Right? So here's what it says. As a means to be able to deal with this. Confront your challenges head on. Don't let them pass on to another month. Don't let them pass on to another time. The reason why we keep having more and more issues in the relationship as the years go down instead of fewer is because we are not resolving them as they come. We keep hoarding them. And because we didn't resolve it in the first 2 years, it joins the rest that now coming on in the second 2 years. So now instead of 2 for the first 2 years, and you resolve that, so the next 2 that come in the second 2 years is only 2. You end up with 4 because the 2 from the first 2 years never was solved. Follow me? So they say confront. Do not use the avoider to deal with some issues. There are some issues that you need to face it, discuss it, sit down. And confront does not mean fight over it. It means face it. It means sit down and let's talk about this. Call the man, let him talk and sit down and you all talk. Call the woman and say, listen, we're having a little problem here. Let's talk it out. Let's deal with it. So rather than avoiding discussions, be in problem-solving mode so that it does not escalate and go over into another year. 2, lay the foundation for the future by setting joint goals. This is what we want. We know for sure we're going to be in this relationship for the rest of our lives. This marriage is not going to end. We are committed to that. So whatever it is, let's make it happen. One of the things that I usually try to tell people is this phrase, and I want you to write this down, people. Write it down. Expect the best from your spouse, but brace yourself for the worst. I'll say that again. Expect the best from your spouse, but brace yourself for the worst. And I'll tell you why. When you jump into your vehicle or to a vehicle, you put on your seatbelt, not because you expect to crash. You expect to arrive safely, but you still brace yourself for the worst. All right. Rene sounds like a mathematician. He call it compound problems. I have a feeling Rene is a woman. Yeah. All right. To get the best quality gold, it has to go through rigorous refining. Good evening, Angel Wilson. Nice having you. All right. Phase 3. It's 5 phases I want to get to, and we use half an hour already. So let me advance the discussion. For those who just join us, I tell all them, don't come into this thing later. I try to talk to all them. Number 1, honeymoon phase. Number 2, exploration phase. The phase where we're seeing things that we don't like, but we're exploring. Number 3, the adaptation phase. So you have 6 months honeymoon phase. 6 months to 2 years, you have the exploration phase. And now, after the 2 years, you're going to have the adaptation phase. This adaptation phase is a period where you have to make adjustments. Oh my goodness. Wow. One of the things that I find is so difficult for couples is for them to make adjustments. Everybody wants to stay the same, but want the other partner to adjust, but you stay in the same. It must be mutual adjustment because you're now going into a routine. You have to drop children to school. That's a routine. You come home, you have to prepare things for the next day. That's a routine. When you were in honeymoon phase, you didn't have them routines there in the relationship. So this routine, you're now getting into the routine, but it requires you to balance the routine stuff with the relationship. Somebody say amen. What some people do, we go into the routine, house, children, work, and the relationship is left wanting, abandoned, famine in the relationship. And some people only study relationship and don't understand that there must be a routine. You understand me? So we must be cognizant of the person's routine. So if you are a housewife, you home sleeping whole day and watching Young and Badness, yeah? Your husband out working whole day, and he come home late at night, working hard, smelling sweaty, go and shower, and you want to have all kind of romantic thing and want him to take long in foreplay. He don't have that kind of energy at that hour of the night. Well, some of them don't have that because this routine, you need to make adjustments in this routine. And you gentlemen, how about the lady who has been working in the day, come home, see about the children, help them with their homework, wash dishes, prepare lunch for the next day, and you come home early and you sit down and watch news and you watch football, and then now you come inside, she's burnt out, but you were there relaxing all the time, you got a chance to unwind from work, and then you go inside and you want cookie. Yeah? Or you tell me if I'm talking true now. If I'm talking lie, or you tell me I'm talking lying. There must be an adjustment and we have to talk this out. Pressure say we forget each other. That's right. Thank you, Lyndon. Lyndon say he lend me a belt to beat all those latecomers because some of them are habitual latecomers too. When you want to get the gold, the last stage, so it can shine, it has to go through a difficult process. That's right, my lady precious. Lawrence, I always expect the unexpected. All right. Okay. So this is the adaptation phase. So during this phase, embrace change. Embrace change. We'll have to make some changes. We'll have to make some. We might have to change having sex in the night to having sex in the morning. We might have to change from having it in the morning to having it in the night. We might have to change it to having it on weekend. We might have to change by going out somewhere away from those miserable, noisy, and intrusive children. We might have to just spend some time separate with them, send them by their your in-laws, grandparents. Say hello, somebody. Dwayne said that sometimes when you're looking for cookie, all you're getting is Cricks. Cricks is vital supply, my boy. Vital supply. Don't bounce my Cricks at all. Even if you ain't get cookies, take Cricks. Hillary, Hillary, Grenada, nice having you. Thank you, Janelle, Bikari, George Douglas, nice having you. Charmaine now make the thing worse. You're not even getting the Cricks. The Cricks already mash up his crumbs to get in. Lyndon said by the time his wife get home, she had nothing to do. I will ask your wife, Lyndon. I want to know whether that is facts or not. I would like to know if that is facts or not. Anyway, going on. So, let's see if we could now use this phase of the post-2-year phase to try and work some things out as to how we would now deal with this phase. This is the adaptation phase. Let's share some responsibilities now. And let's not go with who is to wash dishes and who is to do this and so on. Let's share the responsibilities. Share it nicely. Because you might find that there are sometimes that the wife comes home late, that she have to come home and still wash the dishes because that is her responsibility. But there are some things that I want to also say. If the animals and them need to feed up and the man coming home in the night, shouldn't you go and help him feed them animals in the night too? Go try that. All right, Lyndon. Lyndon, don't challenge me and I will ask. Hey, Susan, that's Lyndon's wife. Susan, just message me and let me know whether what Lyndon said is true. Is it that when you come home, you have nothing to do because he has done it all? Let me know. I'm looking out for the WhatsApp coming in. I will embarrass him here tonight. Uncle Joe, he worked the night shift and I work the day shift. You hear about the boats passing in the night, not bumping in the night. Yeah. Miss. All right. So we're talking about sharing the responsibility because here's what. When we contribute towards the responsibilities, one of the things that men complain is that women complain about headache and they're too tired. Well, if we share responsibilities, hopefully, those will not be excuses that come so frequently. Though there are some women who shall still make the excuses, regardless of how much help they get. Hey, hear me, Susan. Lyndon. Sorry. I think it's somebody online that they watch in the wrong way. All right. Tell Charmaine to message me. Yeah? You know what I mean. All right. So one is take responsibilities, and two, practice compromise. Come to a middle ground when it comes to this phase, when you're now having all of these adaptation and making adjustments and so on. How do we now make this adjustment? And part of the adjustment is in the early stages of the babies, when they're young and the mother has to breastfeed, you have to make adjustment. She has to be with the baby. She can't be getting up every time and go across in the next room to breastfeed the baby, not come off the bed. She might, out of laziness and tiredness and all of that, she'll want to breastfeed right there. The man has to make some adjustment. He might need to sleep in the next room. Or be ready when the baby wakes up to be able to put the baby on the mother's nipples for her while she continues to sleep. Yes? You almost make she put him in the couch. Be careful, Mike. I want him to do that because he too boastful. He boasts openly on people's Facebook. Lynette Emmanuel says, not laziness. Lynette? Well, I had used laziness in that context to mean exhaustion and tiredness. So she feels so lazy to come off the bed. That's what I meant. But I want to tell you, Lynette, there are some laziness is not an inappropriate word for some breastfeeding mothers. If you want to challenge me, challenge me. I go win you on that. All right. So now we're going to phase 4. I think we're making good time now. It is 8:49. Making good time. We're finishing by 9 o'clock. The commitment phase. The commitment phase is after the 2 years and beyond the 2 years. So you have that phase of adaptation, and now you have the phase of commitment. For those of you who just joined us, we're going through the phases of changes that take place in a relationship. Honeymoon phase, you have also the exploration phase. Honeymoon phase is the first 6 months. 6 months to 2 years is the exploration phase. And after 2 years, now we're now dealing with the adaptation. We need to make some adjustments in how we live. And then we have the commitment phase. This is now the phase that we have to look at each other's flaws and grow more comfortable and deeper committed in the relationship as we develop. Right? Because at this stage, we're going to be very, very clear that your partner is not perfect. Your partner will demonstrate all the things that they may have pretended before is going to come out. And some of the things that they did that you did not notice because you were in this euphoria, you will notice at this phase. So it is at this phase that you now have to recognize that those initial sparks, they're dead. They completely gone. However, commitment is what holds a relationship together, not this thing called love. Love is manifested through commitment. So commitment is it. Love on its own is this feeling of infatuation, but love is manifested through commitment. I am committed to you. Come what may, we'll follow, I'm committed to you. We will disagree, I'm committed. I'm not going to withdraw things from you, not give money, not going to be doing my part as a husband or a wife in the relationship just because we fall out. The commitment is always there. So we must be able to maintain that. Even though the excitement is gone in its initial stage, it does not mean that the fire is out. At this stage, we need to learn to stoke the fire. Rekindle it, because the fire may seem dim, but we can fire it back up. So we need to now spend some more quality time with each other because we are going to drift apart. One of the things that they said in relationships, they said infidelity was the #1 reasons that relationships fail. They have updated it and said growing apart is one of the major reasons relationships fail. And because people grow apart, infidelity now takes place. You all get that? Commitment. And thank you, Lynette. What people do not have is a committed spirit. Unfortunately. Because here's what people say. I'm not happy. And if I'm not happy, I'm not staying in the relationship. That shows immediately lack of commitment. And there are so many people that's so sad. Because there will be relationships where sadness is going to exist for a period of time and sometimes for a long time. But it does not mean that the relationship is over. Through thick and thin, rich or poor, better for worse, sickness and in health, till. All right. Let's say no more. So we need to appreciate the unique beauty of this phase that is called the commitment phase. This, I think, is the most important phase, that your grandparents that were together for 50, 60 years, you think they were in love for all those years? You think that the relationship was all infatuation and full of sex all those years? No, a lot of that had ended long time. But you can't doubt the fact that they are committed to each other. Phase number 5. We're down to just 8 more minutes, so let's get phase number 5 out. I think we're doing nice with the time. Phase number 5. This is the acceptance phase. This is over 5 years and more. You got to accept certain things. Because you are committed and you have accepted that this is what I'm in. This is my marriage. It's not perfect, but this is my marriage. This is my relationship. 5 years. The acceptance phase is a testament to the strength and the depth of the relationship. When people can accept you as you are, they would like you to change, but they're not going to try to change you because we can't change anybody. But when people get to that stage, they tell themselves, I accept you as you are. It is when people stop trying to force people to change that they begin to change on their own in order to please us. You all get that? So this acceptance phase is the phase where we embrace the other person's flaws. This is what the writer Mark is saying. And I support that. I supported that we've got to learn to accept people with their flaws. You leave this relationship in 5 years and you go into the next relationship, and when you reach the 5th year, you are back to finding that same person, that other person that you go with flaws. Flaws will always be there. Learn to accept a person's flaws. Now, of course, this has its limit. Abuse and so on. One has to now take that into consideration, especially in today's world. But I'm talking about general. Oh, I don't like how the person does lime so much. That's a flaw. You find that they like the lime so much. Accept some things. And just appreciate the journey and finding contentment in the fact that the person has some other good values. They can't be so bad. Because if they were so bad, you so crazy that you have so many millions of people on this earth and you choose one with all the attitude and everything about them is wrong, then I give that problem to you. Yes, you jump from the frying pan into the flour. Hey, look, my lady Sabina, just help us there. Sabana, Sparkling, just give us all the phases there, little while. Thank you very much. Expect the best, but prepare for the worst. Thank you. Oh, life. Thank you so much, Sparkling. Right? So she gave the honeymoon phase, the exploration phase, the adaptation phase, the commitment phase, and now the acceptance phase. And let me tell you about the acceptance phase, because I need to say this before we go. Because I find that we usually think because we are in a marital relationship, somebody begins to be the one who sets what must be done and the next one just follow. Whether it's a man or sometimes the woman, and she thinks that the man must just follow. I want to give my personal view, and I want to share the view of this writer of this article. They say, maintain independence. That I love. You will have different friends. You'll have different hobbies. You'll have different likes. You'll have different things you want to do. Your partner may not want to join you. Hello? It is okay. That's my respectful view, and that's the respectful view of this psychologist. Why do we want our partner to be involved in everything we do, and they must do what we say? It cannot work. So, maintain independence, nurture the relationship outside of the partnership so that you don't have somebody dependency. So, you want to go to the beach. Your spouse doesn't want to go to the beach or feel like going to the beach. So now you don't go to the beach because they're not going. There's an event or some concert taking place, police band playing, you want to go to the police band, but you can't go because your spouse is not going. No, have an independence, or else you'll be depending on the person to always have to sacrifice what they are doing to be able to accompany you, and vice versa. So embrace the friendship every so often and come back now and do things together. Because the problem is when you're doing everything independent, but certainly do some things independent and come back and do things together. What my boy Joe saying here? There is a saying that Joe and I usually like: marriage is the union of two imperfect people who refuse to give up on one another. That's right. Because they all ain't perfect. Nobody is perfect. But you're committed to it. Lyndon say he wipe on the phone. Nice one, Lyndon. Nice one. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I want you to come and answer the question. And so maintain independence, and to cultivate gratitude. As much as possible, cultivate gratitude. That is going to be so important in this phase of the relationship, because gratitude is it, my people. Gratitude is important. And for gratitude to take place, we need as much as possible to get along with each other. Okay? All right. So I hope that you all appreciated today, and today was able to help you to at least work on your relationship. If you want private counseling, okay, I see that you all lost the video. We have it back now. If you want private counseling, hey, you all know where to find me. The number is 868-688-5363. We help people. There are things that we can't deal with online, but we can deal with you privately on it. Right? So we can do that with you and for you. And you just call my office, 868-688-5363. Yeah. Let me say that again. It is 868-688-5363. All right. I will put it on the screen. All right, tell me if you all seen it on the screen there now. All right, that's the telephone number, 868-688-5363. You could WhatsApp that number also. And let's make an appointment to see you. All right. Thank you, John. Tobago Joe, man. Joe, have papers. All right, people. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday. We are here every Thursday. Always invite somebody to join us so that we'll be part of this awesome discussion. We're giving you some free advice online, but of course we'll meet with you privately otherwise, and that is a different topic. Thank you very much, Candice. Appreciate that. Okay. See you all next week Thursday, God willing. You all stay safe, and may God bless us all. Record.